Welcome into the Snapped podcast. My name is Tyler Kluver, and I'm a former Division I athlete turned entrepreneur. I run my own fitness and nutrition coaching business, as well as a sports media brand that produces podcasts, sells merchandise, and creates exclusive paid content. The fun part is I don't really know what I'm doing as a business owner. I'm just figuring it out day by day. This show, Snapped, acts as an audio journal for my thoughts and ideas on fitness, health, business, mindset, and whatever else I find important on the pursuit to personal happiness and a balanced life. I hope you can take something from the show that makes your life a little bit better. And regardless, I'm just happy you're here. Let's have a day. Let's go. Another Snap podcast. Welcome back to the show. I've been sitting here just staring at the screen, thinking about what I want to do today's episode on. I have, as I mention all the time, but never come back to, a list that grows ever so often as well of topics that I keep for basically when I encounter the exact moment that I encountered today. I'm sitting here, it's Wednesday. I don't have anything that's popping out at me to talk about, or I just don't, I don't know how to format some certain topics and they just aren't forming together in my brain as an episode. So I could just go to that list and pick a topic, but I never do. Yeah, I always choose to talk about myself. I've turned this for now, or at least more recently, into a podcast where I just kind of talk about what's happening in my life. So we're gonna do that again today. I'm down and out right now, and it feels like, to be quite honest, I come on and I do this almost every week. Maybe not to you guys, but fuck, man, it seems like this has been the story. Um, been going through the issues with my back for the third time in a year, and now I finally feel okay. I go to the PT, I get some work done. Monday, I feel good. I go to hit some weights. The training session feels good. I get a good hour of some Olympic lifting in, and then finish with a 5x5 squat, easy 5x5 squat at lightweight, 50%. And it just wrecks me. I just get absolutely just destroyed. And not in like just the way that I haven't lifted weights in 4 months, but there's a first channel of the podcast. Not just a weightlifting destroyed. Like, oh, that was gonna happen. That feels good in a way. Like that's a good sore. No, it's like a bad sore. It's a something isn't right sore. And my legs, and that's in my back. And then in my legs, I do get the good sore, like, oh, haven't moved weight, haven't squatted with load in a while. But they're so they got so messed up from that, and they were so sore and tight that this morning I'm changing uh I'm changing my kid's diaper, getting her dressed for the day, and I had to lean over and kind of like brace myself. And part of that was squeezing the hamstring, which you don't notice when your hamstring's fine. I go to squeeze it, it completely locks up on me and almost feels like I don't know if that it pulled or like tore. Like that's how bad the pain was. And I might exaggerate that. I don't know if it actually got structurally damaged, but it hurt like a bitch, and it immediately locked up my entire right side of my body from like the back of my knee up through my low back on the right side, which is not the left side, which is the part of my back that's been hurt. So, man, I just don't want to get on here and bitch all the time. I just sound like who no one cares about me being hurt and being sad, but like, dude, it's all that my fucking life has been for the last. I mean, I'm happy in life, but sad when it comes to like being able to train and work out. Like, god damn it. It's so annoying. The only positive thing I can think to come out of that is like, and something that I can relay to the podcast or anybody who listens. And by the way, shout out to, I can't, I was trying to find the message. I can't find it. I can't remember if it was an email or a DM or where it came in. But Somebody's like, "Hey, I love the topics that you go over on the Snap podcast. It helps me, yada yada." They were reaching out to me for something else, but like mentioned that they listened to the Snap podcast, and I was like, "Holy shit! Okay, well, that's cool." I think the positive that you take away from this is I have two choices. Anyone has two choices. My initial reaction, my gut feeling, what's easy right now would be to do a little bit of what I already did today, and that is, I took the kid off to daycare. I've gotten a lot of work done the last 2 days, kind of front loaded my week, so I have a little bit more flexibility on the backside of the week. I don't know why yawning happens when you turn the fucking camera on, but my initial reaction was I started a show yesterday on Apple TV, and my initial reaction was literally like, you know what, screw today. We're just gonna chalk today up and just screw today. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna binge this TV show. Hell, maybe we even get off our diet. Exercise today is, I, not gonna happen. These are all the thoughts that are happening in my head. Like, screw it. I even had the thought of like, you know what? I'm in the middle of this tracking thing. I've been trying to do the body weight, like gain muscle and calorie surplus and all this stuff, and like that's all ruined. So I might as well just stop tracking until my body's healthy. And it's like that is the initial like lurch reaction to when something bad happens or when something isn't going your way. And you can't give into that. Like as badly as I wanted to, and as much as I know that I as a person when it comes to health and fitness habits and like getting back to peak shape in a place where I'm happy and thriving in my fitness and health, I know that that doesn't take me much and all I need is like to be healthy again and I can get there. It still does nothing for me to like to fall off the cliff, you know? So I'm going to like every decision that you have um or that you confront within the day is still taking you one of two ways. And we've talked about this sort of idea in the past. Like you either have the ability to go for, or not even necessarily every decision, but every decision you do make takes you one way or the other. And there's no reason to go backwards more than you already are. My body's holding me back. I'm hurt. I can't get stronger. I can't get bigger. I can't get more endurance, more cardio. I can't work on all that stuff right now. But why should that mean that I give up everything else too, that I've been so disciplined at? In fact, it's the opposite. Because I can't pull one of those big levers being exercise and training, I should double down to stay as close to good as possible. My nutrition should absolutely dial in even more. My sleep should dial in even more. My hydration, um, all of those things. Because you can still do something, and that something can be productive. I know it feels like if you can't, it's that all or nothing mentality, something else we've talked about before. But if you lose one thing, you just go harder on the other things. So you know what? While I am gonna watch an episode or two of that TV show today, and maybe I do a little less work, and I'm not gonna be able to exercise or even go for as much walk time outside as I normally do in a day, I'm still gonna try and get a walk in today after lunch. I'm still gonna get a lot of work done today because I can. I'm gonna get a ton of water. I'm gonna go to sleep early again last night. I got 8.5 hours of sleep last night. I'm gonna I'm gonna eat my turkey and rice that I've meal prepped for lunch. I'm doubling down on what I can do because the reality is something hits you and there's an obstacle in your way of the course or the progress or the goal that you were trying to hit, and it's pretty black and white. Do you still want to reach that goal? Yes or no? Yes, that's the answer for me. Okay. Does giving up on everything else, including the something that was taken away from you, get you closer or further away from that goal? Further away. Okay, then you don't stop doing those things. It's very, very, very simple. It's so fucking simple when you make it that black and white. But you have to get past your irrational response, your irrational brain, the trigger that says, "Oh, I can't work out. Fuck it then. I'm my diet. I'm eating ice cream and pizza today, and I'm not moving, and I'm not getting any work done, and I'm just gonna like." You have to fight against that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Some other stuff that's happening in my life, which could maybe even point to why my body is just like not cooperating. Maybe I'm just more stressed than I think, and my body is taking the brunt of that. Um, Lauren and I are trying to buy a house. In fact, this week, yesterday, we got our third offer of three. We've put in three offers, all on different houses. Well, I guess we've put in more than three offers. We've come back and forth and negotiated on each one. But our third house that we've put in an offer on declined yesterday. The first one we got outbid. It just got pushed into a place where we weren't comfortable to go price wise. The second one, the seller ended up not fully understanding the they the seller had an issue, and so we ended up backing off of that one. And then this last one, they are not willing to come down to a price that's even close to reasonable for the house that they're selling. And so we're 0 for 3 with offers on houses. Three times we've sat there for a day or two. We've put an offer in. We've sat there and pondered like, oh, we could be moving into this new house, this new neighborhood on this street, see ourselves in this new room or this new kitchen and all these things. And three times it's been like, oh, well, actually not happening. Kind of a wild ride, but definitely an interesting process to be in. First time home ownership. Not the greatest time to be doing it. Definitely wishing that the rates of 2.753% during the COVID era were still around. Um, but here we are. It is that time in our life when we need to get out. We need to expand because we're having we have a child. And we'll eventually be having another child. And the place we're in right now isn't doing it. Speaking of said child, it is almost a year to the day that our little baby Kinley was born. And I don't think I've mentioned her a whole lot on this podcast, but yeah, December 16th of last year, 2022, is when she was born. Funny because that's the same week. In fact, to the fucking day, the Wednesday of last year, 2 days before she was born, I had this hamstring thing happen on a bike workout that I was doing, and I completely locked up my whole body. And now, literally a year to the day, it happened again. So maybe that's just some weird like muscle memory in my brain. Kinley turns 1 on Saturday. We're having a little party for her. Some families coming over. It's been a year of like being a dad, being a parent. She is incredible. She's the best little girl. All the things that parents feel. I'm not going to get too far into it, but yeah, I I wish I could sit here and like I don't wish I could sit here and sympathize with all the parents that are like it's so hard to be a parent. I don't find it that way. Um and I don't know. Most people just call me a dick or like I'm just like I don't know, lying or not telling the truth. I don't find parenting to be that hard. I just don't. I think a lot of that again, and I'll stick to my guns here on this is I think that parenting is what you set the expectations for it to be. Lauren and I, before we even ever got pregnant, which is really where you start to like understand that your life is going to change and this is how things are going to need to work and happen. Um, we set our life up to where we waited all the way until 28 years old to get pregnant. And I know that's not so uncommon these days, but a lot of people don't do that. Or a lot of people do that, but relative to where they are in their relationship with their significant other, they have not had the years and years and years of time together that Lauren and I have in our unique relationship of being together since 6th grade, to where you've done all of the things, you've experienced all of the experiences, not all of them, but a lot of them. You know each other inside and out to the point where you have already encountered or you already know the plan or the best path through bumps in the road or struggles when they occur. And so when those things happen inside the parenting realm, it's like not a big deal. You just deal with it. You move on. Like I don't know. Another part of that was we completely understood. We happen to be people who don't naturally go out. We don't have friends where we go to the bars or we go do a bunch of things. Like we're homebodies. We're pretty much just hang out with each other. Like life didn't change a whole lot. We didn't have to give up a whole lot when we had the kid. And then we made that expectation in our head of, hey, it's about the kid now. Like before Kinley ever came along, it's about the kid. And so we were like front loading the expectation. And then when Kinley came along, not only did we front load all that expectation, but Kinley also just happens to be an angel child, right? She at 1 month old started sleeping through the night. Um, and pretty much does that unless she's like super sick or teething, pretty much sleeps all the way through the night. Um, and I fully understand that she's only one. Uh, and that we get to the terrible twos and getting to toddler stage where they're more capable of doing causing more havoc. I just Parenting is what you set the expectations to be. And yeah, but dad life is fucking cool. Being a parent's cool. Be nice if we could do it in a new house. We'll get there. Hamstring is broken. Might as well just cut it off. And it's another week on the Snap podcast. You probably didn't learn fucking anything today, but I'm glad you stopped by for 18 minutes. Have yourself a day. Have yourself a week. We'll talk next Wednesday. See you then. Peace.